Alan. So here we are playing an open D. Come on my kitchen by Rob Johnson. Slide-wise, just kind of re-examine your left thumb position. If you are on all 6 strings, your thumb's in like classical. I'm playing fretted thumb position right in the middle. So we actually go down here and stuff, which is worth mentioning. And we talked about your thumb and wrist juxtaposition over on this side, which, as far as the whole wrist thing, if you're going to work on that, maybe do that first now within the context of playing something that's really easy for you. Like not even slide, just like the first finger style thing you ever did. Stop and do that. Cool. And then, not so important you focus on it until you've got these riffs down. The point of the lesson is learning the riffs, but we are going to put bass notes in between. So we got, the only thing that might go wrong there is if you didn't dampen right afterwards, it would go, which you were playing enough fine during the lesson. That's riff 1. Stop and get good at it. Do it a couple times, just like you're going to want to move on 2 more times before I want you to. Cool. So then our second riff starts with that same, which we don't need to further discuss except that you were doing it where you didn't adequately pick your ring finger sometimes, probably because you mostly use these 3 fingers, or at any rate, so just make sure you're hearing the melody note in there, the high note. Cool. So then we get to our first dampen, where I'm picking this string, putting it back, leaving it there, and hitting this string. If you're ever having any trouble with that, just switch to open strings and go, and it accomplishes everything you need to. Like, usually with slide, it's very clear. The difficult part's on this side, the difficult part's on that side. But when it's on your slide side, just like use any part of your hand to pick, use your nose, whatever. When it's so clearly right hand, it's pretty easy to train yourself to go. But in the context of playing the riff, if we were doing something more difficult. But anyway, so it's going to be there, and then we're going to go. So there we are. Don't worry about vibrato yet. Just do whatever you normally do, except no slow slides. I'm playing a musical note, B. A rather, excuse me, 12th fret. Cool. So we just went. Get really effing good at that. Be sure you're muting behind the slide. Do not move on until you are really good at that. And then do this first 2 licks together until you're really good at that. Pausing in between, not playing the bass notes yet. So like, however long it takes to get your right hand settled again. Cool. And we're actually going to be playing bass notes in between those. It's going to be like 2, 3, 4. Like that. I cut off the last note too quickly. Cool. So section, finish. Having done that, the third riff is just adding 1 additional note. So let's zoom in on the end of that. What you're going to do is you're going to go pick this finger and pick your ring finger and put it back, and then these 2 together, ringing out. Your index finger might be your middle finger rather might be tempted to come back to the string prematurely, but we're going like pick and dampen, normal pick. So like, with the ring out there. Cool. So those are the 2 kinds of 2-string combinations. There's I had to keep it there and play, and then there's I'm just picking normally, like in fretted. Cool. So if you're getting any ever where you're not quite on the lowest note, the answer is thumb down, knuckles out. If you're ever getting any, answer is thumb down, knuckles out. Cool. So there we are. Now our song goes. There we go. So that's 2 of those 2-string combinations. It's like these 2 ring out, dampen, these 2 ring out. This is the one where I was like, if I did it with a pick, it would sound like a totally different melody. So that's how, so we got this dampen in the middle. So ring out, dampen, ring out. Cool. And that's the main body of what we did. So get really fucking good at those 4 riffs without the bass notes before you move on, That being like... it's tempting to be like, so right here we're at 5 minutes in your video. Maybe make a note that that's where I played the whole thing one time, which is the riffs. But that said, you're really going to follow this video the first time you practice. So the first time you've gotten to here, it might seem like we're jumping around, but, point is, finish as you go. Literally pause it and do it when I say to. Cool, good times. So now we're switching to right hand position, second most common, which is instead of on strings 1, 2, and 3, on strings 2, 3, and 4, our thumbs on the 5th string. And this is our. So there you go. Just, there's a slide that sounds like one note. And then another one. Don't slide slow. And then on the 5th string we go. So there's our first. Sounds like 2 notes. I'm singing, the melody. Only picking the string once. That's so we're going. Excuse me. And in order to do that, you have to, pick down, bum, and then mute that, and then hit your thumb. So it's going to go index, leave it there, thumb. That's the only part that could go wrong. Cool. So. Cool. So I'm just put out the last riff. It's just like, or the last couple. Whole thing at 6:47 on your video. 2, 3, 4. Cool. So I was playing thumb throughout there, kind of just like because you can. But you're just doing the 2 in between. I'm playing the riff, thumb, thumb, and don't worry too much about, do I want the high notes to ring out during the thumb notes? We're going to get at playing high notes with thumb notes more directly. That's just sort of so it feels like you're playing a song or whatever. Anyway, but ultimately you might decide to thumb your way through the whole thing. Not something you're working on this time. So this would be when, you can see if you've been following this, time to work on vibrato more. Just 1/18 of an inch of the fret, just a stain pedal on a piano. That's you as opposed to good, man. Good shit. Looking forward, and I will see you very soon. Cheers.